Guys, now wow, now wow, this is a tough one. Guys, now wow, this is a tough one. I mean, it had to be done. It was never going to be an easy one, but sometimes in life, you have to do what you got to do. And every Chelsea fan knows that this one is somewhat late. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Graham Potter being sacked today as Chelsea's manager. I guess as the saying goes, it's better to be late than never, because as far as I am concerned, this is a late sacking. Guys, we're in April now. We're in April. I mean, what is happening? What is Todd Bowley and them? We just had to wait this long to do the obvious. In April, we're in April. Soon, next month is May, and the season is over. In the meantime, Todd B and them watched as Chelsea lost at home to Southampton. I don't know, like almost 2 months ago. That's when this man should have been let go. That's when y'all should have let this man go. You know, but no. I guess probably what happened was they just did not have a backup plan, right? Chelsea did not have Todd Bowley and his people did not have a backup plan. But again, the reality is this: when you have a manager in Graham Potter, who historically speaking has been the Chelsea's worst manager pretty much in recent history. I mean, probably in the last 50 odd years. I mean, under Graham Potter, Chelsea only won 7 out of 22 league games. Guys, let that sink in just a little bit. We only won 7 out of our 22 league games under Graham, Potter, and an overall win rate. That is when you cut and join all the little cup games and everything. Potter's overall win rate is just 39%. Ouch. That is painful. That is painful for a club the level of Chelsea, and even more painful if you're Todd Bowley and co, who have shelled out about 600 million pounds in just a matter of months on players. It's indefensible, and that's why I've been scratching my head why it took this long. I mean, I know that part of the of the Bowley group being hesitant is the fact that they wanted to change the culture of hiring and firing, and that was what I was my earlier videos were was basically alluding to this point that at some point at Chelsea, if we want to build something that's going to last, that's going to endure for a long time, like City and so on and so forth, that we should identify a competent manager and stick with that manager through thick and thin. Well, what happened was we didn't see nobody saw this one coming. Like, as bad as it's been, and Chelsea fans, we have been through managers that have been hired and fired within months, and even those guys, um, Scolari them and what's his name? Uh, Good lord, I mean, I forgot his name. That got fired. Jose's former assistant that took over, um, that got fired, and then Di Matteo then took over and took us all the way in 2012, and we won the Champions League. But I mean, those guys never, had anywhere as bad a record as. I mean, we're in 11 guys. We are comfortably in 11th place, y'all. Do you guys understand what where Chelsea is at right now? We're in 11th place. We've been trapped at 10th place like for months. I mean, if you're taught B and you've been watching Chelsea languishing comfortably with no urgency to move from 10th to 8th to 7th to 6th to 5th to 4th, no urgency, no plan, no trajectory upwards. I mean, now, I mean, what is the like? Why? What are you guys watching? That's why I'm wondering. I'm scratching my head that why that what really took this long. What really took your this long to basically make this obvious move. And so, here we are. But when you sit back and you analyze it, right, you say, okay, all right. I mean, I see what had happened, because what had happened was when you sit down and break down Graham Potter's backroom staff, because Shebi is from his backroom staff that Bowley and them have now pulled out an interim manager by the name of Bruno Saltor, right? So they have pulled out Bruno Saltor is going to be Chelsea's interim manager through the ending of the season. And guys, I looked up Bruno and said, okay, somehow, Bruno Salter he will now transform into Di Matteo and then rewind the hands of clock and wind it all the way back from 2023 back down to 2012, and we will win the Champions League again using an interim manager at boss. But guys, we need to be realistic. So I looked up Bruno's CV. My brothers and sisters of Chelsea. Bruno is not it. Sorry to disappoint all man. Bruno is not it. That's just the reality. I mean, Bruno is as inexperienced as it gets. Bruno is as inexperienced a manager as you can have for an interim, for even an assistant coach. I mean, wondering how did he end up being an assistant coach under Chelsea? This man has never managed any club in his life at any level. Guys, let me repeat. Bruno Salter has never managed any club in his life at any level. And I say level is exactly what I mean. I mean, whether senior level or whether youth team, whether women's, any kind of team, just manage a group of team in a league or competition, sort of whereby you, Bruno Salter, has been responsible for the overall results as the last buck man on top. And then manage this team, and we can say, okay, under your management, this was your record as a coach for Brighton under 18 or something. He had never even managed Brighton on like youth team. This guy is basically an ex. He was, he played for his claim to fame is that he's a Brighton legend. Wow, this is the level that we're at right now. We are a Brighton legend. That's all it takes to be an interim manager at Chelsea, that you have been a legend at Brighton. And we're not even talking about Brighton now. He made 235 appearances at Brighton. Most of the appearances, like about 200 of those appearances, came when Brighton was playing in the championship level. And so he basically was the captain that helped Brighton to gain promotion to the Premier League. And at the Premier League level, Bruno Salter only played 39 Premier League games. And he retired, I believe, 2018 or 2019, and he's basically was brought in by Potter to assist what are they called it, senior player development, whatever that means. And then from there, Potter, while Bruno Saltor was senior player development assistant for Potter at Brighton. Then he sort of joined them along for the ride up to Chelsea, and now he became assistant coach at Chelsea. What's this now? This is nonsense. And then from there, because now there's no plan B, there's no backup. Back in the day when Roman would hire the main man, he would then hire like a backroom staff that was almost detached from the actual manager, because there was always a plan B that, hey guy, in case you didn't work out, we have to, if we cut you loose, you're not going to carry all your managers and leave us with nothing. So we will appoint at least half of our own people, and the people that Roman would appoint into the incoming managers, backroom staff, will be experienced, managers like Di Matteo as an assistant at the time had previously managed in the Premier League. He had Premier League. He managed, I believe, in the Champions League. I believe either he managed Wigan or some champ and did well, and then he got a Premier League job where he managed. Now, granted, he was sacked, but at least the man had a managerial experience under his belt, and he was actually doing well. It's not just manage a little bit and get sacked. Like he managed for some years. Like Di Matteo was an experienced manager that ended up being an assistant manager for AV. AV. I can't. His name just is popping in and out of my mind. Boas or AV Boas, I think was his name. The then young Portuguese guy that we had. He himself was a very good manager from Porto, and won Europa League. I believe he won the league in Portugal. Like experienced. So Todd Bowley, like you all got to take this one on the chin, for real, because where Chelsea is at comes all the way from the top in terms of Todd Bowley and them just not making the right managerial signing, especially after you're sacked Tuchel, and then you brought in Potter, and it is what it is. So it basically says that Bruno Saltor will take interim charge, and Potter will help with a smooth transition. And then Bowley and them say, listen, we want to thank Graham Potter sincerely for his contribution to Chelsea. We have the highest degree of respect for Graham as a coach and as a person. He has always conducted himself with professionalism and integrity, and we are all disappointed in this outcome. So, that's basically, Potter saying, guys, not my fault. Potter, I beg, no vex, but it's time to move on. In terms of what is it costing Chelsea? Well, based on reports, Chelsea is not going to have to pay out the remaining 5 years of his contract. There's some kind of liquidated termination payout amount. I believe that may have been built into his contract that said, listen, if we fire you before the end of the contract, we're going to pay you XYZ, whether it's 5 million, 10 million, whatever the number is. Apparently, there's some kind of out clause that's in that it was in that 5 year contract, which is customary. That's something that, quite frankly, that's what I had expected. Because if you all understand how long-term contracts are drafted, there's usually some kind of out clause. Otherwise, the employer would have been on the hook for the remaining term of the contract. And so what they do is they insert what's called a liquidator clause, to which in essence reduces or liquidifies the buyout cost for the club, and it is very clean. And so that appears to be what has been done here. Obviously, who's going to be the next man? Well, Nagelsmann. Everybody is that's the name on everybody's list. And Chelsea has sent in word to Germany to inquire about the interest and availability of Nagelsmann. Apparently he does have an interest, but at this time, Nagelsmann is going to sit put in Germany and wait and just sit chill and wait till the end of the season and just figure things out. I mean, that's where, if you're in Julian Nagelsmann's position, guys who are in April in the business end of the season, this is not the time for Nagelsmann or any kind of top level coach to enter from their living room to inside okra soup inside the kitchen. This is not really any smart manager is not going to want to put themselves inside the frying pan. And so, because we're in April, as I mentioned, next month is May, and the season is over. You don't want to basically mix yourself up with an already season that appears to be going downhill. Notwithstanding that, Chelsea still has Real Madrid to play against in Champions League. So, guys, that's where things lie right now. We just have to sit tight. This is obviously breaking news, and so there's going to be more and more news and releases and gossips and everything in the days coming. How do you all feel about the fact that Potter has been let go today? Please subscribe to my channel. Take care. God bless you all, and happy Sunday. Bye.